Hey, Shalom, Shalom. It's Brother Dunman Kabar here with GMS Los Angeles with another lesson. And before I start, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha HaKodash. And I want to give double honors to the elders of the Lord. This last world's war, the third woe, as the Bible refers to it too. And it is going to involve the U.S., it is going to involve Russia, China, Syria, Iran, and the land of Israel. And these things are very clear in the scriptures if you have eyes to see. But what this guy is talking about in this article is on some source that I don't know where the hell he got it from. It's not. They don't quote what scriptures they got it from or what source they got it from, but it's just some so-called Jewish interpretation of the scriptures, which they're not the prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai anyway. The Torah is not just one. It's the first 5 books of Moses. But like I said, they say that, but they don't quote where and exactly in the Torah they got it from. So right there alone, it lets you know that I wouldn't trust wherever source they say they got it from, if it's not the Holy Scriptures. It says you know they're saying that it's from the Torah, but what I mean is that they're not quoting exactly where they're getting it from. They're just saying the Torah, which they could say that, but it could be totally come from some. For all we know, it could be coming from the Talmud or some other false book. It says it claims a month before the pandemic. See, look, that's how you know what's going on. It claims a month before the pandemic phase. Nobody knows the time and the hour when these things will exactly happen. Prophecy has to happen first. There's a lot of algorithms that have to happen and play out for these things to happen, and we definitely don't know the time or the hour when these things will begin to happen. It says involving the United States, we will break out between bitter enemies Saudi Arabia and Iran. Now, Saudi Arabia they are an ally of America. They are a pawn of America. But what's really going to set this thing off is going to be between Iran and the Israelis and the land of Israel. All right, which is going to cause America to get involved, and China and Russia and all these major military powers to get involved. See? It says it also claims that the fighting will bring great strife and darkness into the world. The version events is revealed in Yaqut Yeshayah. See, I don't know who the hell that is, or he ain't no prophet, all right? A book published in 1939 based on a section of the Yaqut Shemonoi, whatever the hell that is, a compilation of Jewish commentary on the Bible believed to have been composed in the 13th century. See, like I said earlier, these so-called Jewish commentary or Jewish so-called people, they're they're Edomites. They're not the biblical Israelites, nor are they the prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So what they say can't be taken into true consideration, because the true prophets, starting with the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, we've already broken these things down. These guys are just coming with what they believe is going to happen. They don't even know that while they're saying that it's going to involve Iran and Saudi Arabia, they're going off on that, because really it's going to involve them, you so-called Jewish people over there living in the land of Israel. You're going to be the cause why World War III and America and all these other nations are going to get involved in the Middle East down there to fight this last world war. It says the text reads, Rabbi Yitzchak, whoever the hell that is, in the year that the Messiah would be revealed, all the leaders of the nations will provoke each other. The king of Persia, and the Persians are modern day Iranians, will provoke the kings of Arabia. And then that's how you know they're going off, because you don't have Saudi Arabia and Persia right now, the Iranians provoking anybody over there. They're just trying to live their lives and sell their oil and basically get America the hell out of their backyard. What you do have is the Israelis provoking the Persians or the Iranians into war, with the influence of America behind it. See, not this way around. Now that don't mean that Arabia, they're going to be involved in this third world war. They're going to be, players in it too, but not in the sense of they're going to provoke it and get things popping over there. It says, and the king of Arabia will go to Edom, see that, to receive advice for them. No, who's going to the Edomites, which, who's been harping on Edom? Who's been exposing Edom? Who's been going into Esau, Edom, according to the Holy Scriptures? It's the men of the Lord, starting with the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone, the one Westers, But like I said, take Arabia out of here and put in the Israelis. They're going to go to the Edomites to receive advice from them, because they're ultimately the ones that whenever they want to go and strike Iran or meddle with Syria, these Israelis, they have to get the green light from Esau, Edom, or the Americans or America, the so-called white man. You see, and you see now everybody want to start talking about Edom and what where Edom fits in the scriptures and what Esau and Edom is going to do. You know, and they're only doing that now because we've been prophesying it and going into it. So it's not going to be Saudi Arabia. It's going to be the Israelis will go to the Edomites. All right. Now I'm gonna show you right here. Let me read this little article real quick. It says where is it? Where's the title? Come on, man. Oh, fuck. Benjamin, Iran is being the aggressor towards Iran and Syria because those are the two last places over there in the Middle East that they don't have full control over. That these elites, these Edomites, don't have European or international banks in there that can control their resources and all of their finances. And these countries like Iran and Syria, they're allied with Russia. They got a lot of deals with China. Basically, the adversaries of America and the greatest threat to America are allied with Iran and Syria. So eventually, what's going to happen is when things get so hot over here between the Iranians and the Israelis, that America, Saudi Arabia too, China, Russia, they're all going to eventually get involved over there because you got a lot of business and a lot of money deals between these nations that are going on over there. And you got America basically trying to use Israel and Saudi Arabia and its other cronies over there in the Middle East to basically to destroy these trade deals and pipelines that Russia and China has with Iran and Syria, So I'm gonna read a little bit of this article. It says Benjamin Netanyahu said today that Israel was striking back at its greatest enemy, Iran, as he blamed the Islamic Republic for a recent attack on Israeli-owned ship, which is usually never the case, man. It's always the other way around. It's always Israel being the aggressor against Iran, and then once Iran does something back or blows up something, then Israel totally goes on the defensive and claims that, oh, they're trying to destroy us, oh, they hate us, they want to do this, we're gonna do this and do that. Hey, stop. You know, and that's been the narrative going on over there for years because basically, America really wants to get to have a huge wars war over there so that they can get involved and that they can take over the resources over there. You know, so like it. Salaki. So it says, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister said the blast on the MV Helios raid, which left 2 holes in the vessel's side in the Gulf of Oman last week, was indeed an Iranian act. That is clear. As for a reaction, you know my policy, he continued. Iran is Israel's greatest enemy, you see, not Saudi Arabia. It's not Saudi Arabia and the Iranians, man. It's Israel and Iran. Well, really, Israel against Iran because they're the aggressor. Those Iranians just want to sell their oil, make money, do what they got to do, be sovereign, and have America the hell out of their business, man, and out of their affairs. Where is that? It says It says I'm determined to block it. We're striking at it throughout the region. It says Netanyahu's remark comes hours after Syrian Air Force defenses intercepted what they said were Israeli missiles over Damascus in an area where Iranian Revolutionary Guards and their Hezbollah allies are believed to be present. You see, so under President Sleepy Joe, when they did those missile strikes the other day, a couple of days ago, they did it in Syria, but to hit Iranian Revolutionary Guards. So they're constantly poking and trying to get Iran to be the aggressor against Israel so they can be justified in going to war with them. It's been the same narrative going on over and over and over. And it's not changing, It says, but Iran, let's see. It says it also comes days after Joe Biden ordered airstrikes on Syria to target an Iranian-backed militia, with the U.S. president warning Tehran that it cannot act with impunity. See, and then on top of that, Iran don't even be doing shit. They're just trying to find any excuse available so that they can come up against Iran when they've shown time and time again that everything America or Israel accuses Iran of doing, whether it's trying to produce nuclear weapons and do all these things, they always show to be not true, man. But they're just trying to justify themselves and having a reason to go in there and to go to war and to take over that land, man. You know? So whoever these Israelis are that's trying to say that no, this 800-year prophecy is going to involve Saudi Arabia and Iran, they're wrong. You know? Salakia. All right, let me get this first precept. This is I start Jeremiah 49. I start at 15. It says, "For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, and despised among." Let me see. Yeah, I start here at 13. "I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste." And Basra is the chief city of the Edomites in the ancient world. And when you look at it spiritually today, that modern day city and capital of Basra, of the Edomites today, is America. And this is the Lord telling you the future that's gonna come to Basra, the chief city of the Edomites, which is America. It's going to be destroyed eventually, and it's all going to stem from them starting this war with the Iranians. Because whether you want to believe it or not, Iran has allies, man. They got some of the most strongest allies in Russia and Russia. And then you got, reasons to where Russia and China are eventually going to link up and come together to fight against America and its allies, man. And you're even going to have America's own allies, like a lot of those European unions and those NATO members are going to turn on America eventually and shoot missiles on America. So this World War III is basically going to lead to the demise of the so-called rulership of Esau Edom, the Edomites, the so-called white man. It says, I have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle. You see, the Lord's going to put the spirit on all these heathen nations to rise up in this world's War III. You know, and we're talking about the war to end all wars, because this war is going to get nuclear, man. All right, it's going to get real hot and heavy. That's going to cause the whole of America eventually to be destroyed, man. Read Revelation the 18th chapter. It says, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. It's talking about America. And America is despised among everybody. Everybody has a lick back to get on America through all these years of his rulership, whether it was through sanctions, whether it was through them destroying their economies, or, whatever the case might be. America has puffed and done all these nations dirty to some level or some extent, So they all basically, they had to do business with America. They have to deal with America because of the U.S. dollar, which is the world reserve currency, which soon will not be. They have to deal with America to a certain extent and certain level, But that don't mean that they don't hate this place or have a tremendous problem with this place, It says, thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and that pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh. Talking about Esau Edom, so-called white man, and his rulership on the planet Earth, mainly through America, man. Because this is where he boasts in his pride, and this is where he lets his conquering and ruling over the nations start with America, the hammer of the whole earth. It says, also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at the plagues thereof. Again, read Revelation the 18th chapter. This is a good precept to link with that. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall son of man dwell in it. And that's talking about America. After the Lord judges this place. After this, when this war starts and these missiles hit this place, man. And we know how Sodom and Gomorrah was thrown out through fire, man. Fire from the heavens. And that's how America and how Esau Edom ultimately is going to be taken out of rulership. But it's with him having to come to the defense and the aid of the Israelis, not the Saudi Arabians, okay? It says, behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan against the inhabitants of the strong, but I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time, and who is that shepherd that will stand before me? See, he's talking about Yahushua, because ultimately when he comes, this is what he's going to do. He's going to usher in the destruction of Esau, Edom, America, and all these other nations and their military powers. It says, therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Edom. Remember, we're speaking about Edom. I remember in this article, he said that Saudi Arabia, which is not Saudi Arabia, it's the Israelis, they're going to go to Edom for advice. Basically, they're going to go to Esau, Edom, America, at that day to get the green light to totally go to war with Iran, which is going to usher in his the gathering of all these nations to the battle of Harmagadwan, man. It says, and his purpose is that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock, see, here it is. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Who is that? Talking about the Israelis, because they're the least over there they're the least of the nations amongst all those, the Iranians, those different, Ishmaelite, nations over there in the Middle East. They're the least over there. And that's why, eventually, they're gonna have to draw. They're gonna basically get America involved in this war, and they're gonna cause Esau to go down there, and he's gonna draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Yeah, because once this war starts, all of the land of Israel, with those so-called Israelis and Jewish people in there, they're gonna be destroyed off that land when this war come. And guess what? They're gonna be one of the main driving forces of why those nations are gonna go in there. Stop doing that. So the least of the flock, which is those Israelis over there in the Middle East, is gonna draw America into this war. That's gonna end up being their demise, because they're not gonna win this war. It says, surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Yeah, it's going to be known. It's going to be heard all across the world. So as you can see, this Rabbi Yitzchak prophecy is off, man. It ain't dealing with Arabia going to Edom to receive advice for them to go to war with the Iranians. It's the Israelis going to Esau, Edom, or America to receive advice to go into this world's war. Just like they get the approval from America to do shit like this, and to do these different strikes, man. You see, so the Israeli army had refused to confirm its involvement in the missile launch towards Syria, where there were no immediate reports of casualties, which that's a lie. If America does it, you better believe, it's a accepted deal between the two, America and Israel. It says Syrian air defenses were activated in the capital as well as the southern suburbs on Sunday night to repel an Israeli missile attack, according to state media. So here it is. Every time that Iran has to defend itself, or come on the defensive for being attacked by America or Iran always get the believes that. On Friday, Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz said Israel was taking action almost weekly to harass Iranian forces in Syria. You see? And you better believe they're getting the green light from America, you see? Because here's Iran and Syria, they're allies, man. And then a lot of these, like Iraq, Saudi Arabia, they're Jordan, Egypt, they're all Turkey, they're all allies of America. So you can see they got Iran and Syria basically surrounded, man. So it's gonna be a real hotbed, and this is where the world, the war to end all wars is going to take place in this region right here, man. This is where all the nations are going to be gathered to go into this world war. You This is what else is in here? Look at that. Last week, the U.S. launched airstrikes targeting Iranian-backed militias operations near the Iraqi border. In the first military action by the Biden administration, the U.S. dropped 7 500-pound munitions on a crossing used by militia groups to move weapons across the border. See? It's getting hot over there, man. See, look, Israel has long accused arch foe Iran of trying to acquire nuclear weapons, a charge always denied by Tehran. And that's what they're using to try to always constantly come up against Iran. And it's been shown time and time again that they don't have that type of ability to produce nuclear weapons, but they're going to use that time in and time again to be justified in trying to go to war with them. But like I said, that's going to be ultimately their demise. So let me go back to this article. because I think I proved that point. It says, and the king of Persia will go and destroy the entire world, which that's a lie. Persia, Iranians are not going to destroy the entire world. All right. Who's going to destroy the entire world is going to be Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The Lord's going to use these different nations that have nuclear capabilities to destroy the world of Esau Edom, to destroy the rulership of the so-called white man here on the planet Earth with these different missiles and the whole of America. But it's not going to be the Persians or the Iranians who's going to do this. It says, and all nations of the world will shake and panic and fall on their faces and feel contractions like those of giving birth. And Israel will shake a panic and ask, where will we go? Well, this is talking about those so-called Israelis. They ain't going to ask shit because they're not the people of the Most High. Where the true Israelites are going to go when these missiles are shot on the whole of America and different parts of the planet Earth is that they're going to be taken up into what the world calls UFOs. They're going to be beamed up in the chariots of the Most High to salvation. See? That says, and the Most High will say to them, my children, do not fear, because everything I did for you. Why are you afraid? Don't be afraid. The time has come for your redemption. Yeah, and who was redemption for? The Israelites, man. You know? Let me see something. Mount Zion. All right, because the Lord is only coming to save the Israelites, man, not the Israelis, not those so-called Jews over there in the land of Israel. They're going to do it. Right, slow, Slovakia. Here we go. This is Joel chapter 2 and 32. It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance. Now, don't get it twisted. It ain't talking about Jerusalem over there right now, the people that's living in there. It's talking about the ancient Israelites, because the true Israelites are a people before they're a place. So wherever the real Jews are, that's where Jerusalem is, you know, through the Spirit. And that's talking about the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the true Israelites, not them over there in the land of Israel. Because I just told you it's going to be Jerusalem, the land of Israel over there is going to be destroyed. It says, for in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as Yahweh has said, and in the remnant whom Yahweh shall call. You see, so only the remnant, the elect of the house of Israel, is going to be delivered from these nuclear missiles when they're shot. You see? Yep, see? But upon Mount Zion, Obadiah 1:17, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. See? So every time you go to deliverance and Jacob being saved, it's always dealing with the Israelites. All right? It says, so the Lord is going to say this to the true Israelites, to the elect. All right? Let me see a little bit more. It says Persia is modern day Iran, like I explained earlier, and the ancient kingdom of Edom is sometimes used to refer to the USA or Western culture in general. You see? So they're showing you right here that the Edomites are the so-called white man. And when it says the USA, they ain't talking about everybody that's in the land of Israel. I mean, everybody that's in the land of the USA lineage goes back to the Edomites. You know, the Edomites is a so-called white man, the rulers of the rulers that rule this place, man. You know, and going into Persia is modern day Iran, and the ancient kingdom of Edom is sometimes referred to the USA or Western culture in general, right? And the Edomites were the Greeks, they were the Romans, and that's why these devils will tell you that civilization started with the Greeks. What they're basically telling you is that civilization started with the Edomites, man. You know, and we're living in that system all over again. It says the prophecy said that Saudi Arabia will try hard to pull the U.S. into a conflict with Iran. Again, it's not the U.S., it's the Israelis who are Edomites. A blog deciphering the text written in Hebrew said it showed that the war between Iran and Saudi Arabia would take place before the plague of coronavirus will end. You know, and we know that nobody knows the time or the day, but we do know that it's very close. All right. So let me get some more precepts. Let me see. Let me get Joel 3. Oh shit. You see, so I show you that these so-called Jews, they're, you know, they ain't the prophets, man. They don't know what they're talking about. But we know what it's all about and how it's who are the major players that are in there, like I explained in Jeremiah 49th chapter. It says this is Joel 3 and 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. You see, because that's what's going to happen. Once, war really pops off between Iran and Israel, and real missiles are dropped and you got real casualties, you're going to cause all these mightier nations to show up. Like I said, Russia, China, because a lot of these nations are allies. It's a lot of business and it's a lot of money, and the Lord's going to cause these nations to rise up in that day, to come down near. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that's these other weaker nations who have now turned their economies and built up their military in these last days. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Right, and where they're going to be gathered? Over there in the Middle East. And you're going to have the mighty ones, which are the angels. They're going to come down too, with Yahweh Shai, in the midst of this war. It says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And what does Jehoshaphat mean in Hebrew? It's Yahweh Shaphat. Yahweh is the name of the Most High, and Shaphat means judgment. Because this is where the Lord is going to gather all these nations to ultimately to judge them and to take their crowns and to usher in the kingdom of heaven. It says, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Because what the Lord is basically doing is doing all these different chess moves, and causing all these different conflicts and things like of that nature between certain nations like Israel, Iran, America, Russia, China, to eventually gather themselves in the Middle East to fight this world's war. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get ye down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Yeah, man. That's the time that we're in, because wickedness is great right now. This whole planet is in complete and utter wickedness, man. And the only thing that's left for it ultimately is to be judged and destroyed by the Heavenly Father. But He's going to do it through all these nations rising up in the Middle East to fight this world's war. What better place for the Lord to gather them all together in one place to judge all of them right there at the same time. It says, multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Yahweh shall also roar out of Zion and utter his voice. What's now? It says, the Yahweh shall also roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but Yahweh will be the hope of his people and the strength of the sons of Israel. You see? Talking about the true Israelites, not those Israelis over there that's going to be involved in this, because they're going to be destroyed and burnt up. This is talking about the elect, the true Israelites. All right? And see? So we can see how what's going to happen. What all this stuff like this is going to lead to. Like I was reading some of this article. Netanyahu saying that their greatest enemy is Iran. They're going to get involved. And look at this. This is another article. Military pieces in different places. So when this world war do pop off, they're already in the vicinity. They're not too close. They it'd be easy for them to put troops on the ground over there, man. See? Because remember, let me get this. Let me line this precept. What is that? Ezekiel 38. Shit. Because Russia is going to be a guard and a protector and an ally to the Iranians, man. It's going to get that heavy, man. That's like the 20th chapter or 19th chapter. I'm going to read up from the top. But I think the point's in 20. Look at this. U.S. warship docked in Sudan Monday, a day after Russia frigate arrived in the same key Red Sea port where Moscow is planning to establish a naval logistic base, an AFP correspondent said. You see, so they're all setting up shop and being very strategic in where they're about to, put their military, man. Oh, and also too, you got China that's putting a lot of military investments over there in the islands, over there in Jamaica and in Barbados, over there in the islands. For what? So when that day of war happened, they'll have missiles and warships already right there, not too far from the American coast to shoot missiles, man. So as you can see, the Lord is very strategically placing all these nations and their military in different parts of the planet Earth. So when this world war happened, things can happen according to prophecy. And you better believe China is putting nukes and shit over there in these Jamaican islands, man. So when the time comes for them to melt America, they'll be right there, even closer, man. It says the arrival of the guided missile destroyer USS Winston S. Churchill to Port Sudan follows Washington's delisting of Khartoum as state sponsors of terrorism following the April 2019 ouster of strongman Omar al-Bashir. An expeditionary fast transport ship, the USNS Carson City, had already docked in the port February 24th, the first U.S. Navy ship to visit Sudan in decades. The U.S. And they're saying that they're there to fight off that shit. No, they're there for when World War III pop off and shit gets hot in the Middle East. They're already a stone's throw away. They can quickly get their military there. It says they're highlighting the willingness of the U.S. military to strengthen their renewed partnership with Sudan's armed forces. See, everybody's trying to link up, make allies, get in strategic positions. You know. It says the arrival of the USS Churchill was the second U.S. ship to stop in Sudan this week. It says its arrival shed lights on U.S. support for a democratic transition in Sudan. That's all bullshit. Because ultimately America owns the Sudan and different countries in Africa, lock, stock, and barrel. So they're trying to protect their investments. The USS Churchill docked shortly after Russia's Admiral Grigorovich frigate arrived in Port Sudan, where the Russian Navy said a logistical support base would be created. You see, a logistical support base would be created. The Admiral Grigorovich frigate would refuel and its crew rest as exercises in the Indian Ocean off Pakistan, the Navy added. Peace and stability. Sudan's military said the Admiral Grigorovich visit part of advancing diplomatic relations between the two countries, according to a statement. Yeah, see, so everybody's linked up. You got a lot of allies. You got a lot of allies that America has that's close to places where Russia has, even in the same place. So eventually, these countries that they're allied with, whether they have deals with Russia and China and different nations, well, both nations, they're going to have to make a choice on who they're ultimately going to ride with when all is said and done. And as we know, a lot of them are going to decide on not choosing the side of America. It says in December, Russia announced signing a 25-year agreement to build a naval base in Port Sudan, part of Moscow's latest push into Africa as it seeks to renew its geopolitical clout. Yeah, man, see? Russia's Navy will be allowed to keep up to 4 ships at a time at a base, including nuclear-powered vessels. The base will be manned up to by 300 military civilian personnel. So as you can see, man, hey, everybody's making moves, man. Everybody's strategically placing themselves in a position to when this world, the Lord is doing it, man. To when this shit pop off, they're all going to be right there, No, so that's another one you can see. So let me read this one, man. Because Russia has to place itself in position strategically close to Syria and Iran. And remember, they still got that pipeline down there, which is big business, man. Which America is totally hating on like a MF, man. They don't want that shit to see the light of day. And you got a lot of those European Union countries that are partners with it, and like Germany and other countries, I forget the other ones that America is pretty much salty about, and they don't want them to make those deals or to be involved in that deal because it's going to basically make Iran and Russia a huge major energy provider over there in that country, and they could push America out of there. So they definitely don't want that. So all these things are just little things that's going to cause this world's war to pop off, man. And for allies to betray each other, allies to join with new allies, and people to choose which side they're going to be on. Stop. It says, this is Ezekiel 38:1. It says, and the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief princess of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And that's dealing with Russia. That's the land of Gog and Magog. That's where the Russians are right now. And say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And that's basically what the Lord is doing. He's turning it back to that military superpower it once was, man. And now that's how we see how Russia has gotten itself to where it's at now, with some of the most highly sophisticated military on the planet Earth, man, way surpassing that of America. They got nukes, missiles, and nuclear missiles that can go 15,000 miles per hour, and that could dodge missile defense systems. Man, they got submarines that can, do all type of crazy shit, man. They got one nuke that can destroy. One of them can destroy a landmass the size of Texas, man. And then on top of that, they're allied with China and these different nations. So the Lord has put his jaws back into his mouth to where it's a military threat now. It says Persia, Ethiopia. See who's Persia? The Iranians. Ethiopia and Libya with them. Where is these at? These are those different African nations where they have strategic, uh, military position because they make deals with these nations. So they're cool with these type of nations. That says all of them with shield and helmet. And Russia can easily equip these nations with missile defense system, S-400 systems. You know, to be able to fight when all hell. When this World War III comes. It says Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomar and the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. It says, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Be a guard unto who? To the Persians, the Iranians. Remember, because they have huge deals over there and business deals with the Iranians, and Russia and them are very tightly allied, man. It's gonna come to the point to when Israel basically goes to war with Iran and America get involved, Russia and its different allies are gonna have to be a guard unto the Iranians, to the Persians, man. And that's what's gonna kick off this World War III, And it's gonna get hot and heavy, and it's gonna get nuclear over there, man. You see? What's this one? We got another article. Got two more articles, and then I'm gonna close it out. First, Lord willing. See, it says China said to speed up move to more survivable nuclear force. See, like I said, and China's been building itself up. China now is trying to take over America in all shape, forms, and fashion, and they know that in order one way for them to really have to take America over is going to have to be militarily and nuclearly. You see. Let me see what this says. It says China appears to be moving faster toward a capability to launch its newer nuclear missiles from underground. Come on, man. From underground silos, possibly to improve its ability to respond. No, let me think of another preset. All right. According to the American expert who analyzed satellite images of recent construction at a missile training area, Hans Christensen, a longtime watcher of U.S., Russia, and Chinese. See, because these are the main players right here: Russia, America, and China. These are going to be the ones that are going to shoot missiles on America with its allies to burn this place with fire. It said the imagery suggests that China is seeking to counter what it might view as a growing threat from the United States. The U.S. in recent years has pointed to China's nuclear modernization as a key justification for inventing hundreds of billions of dollars in coming 2 decades to build an all-new U.S. nuclear arsenal. You see? And like I said, America is moving too late. They've been so comfortable and sitting so high on the hill that while Russia and China and other nations have been preparing military, beating their plowshares into pruning hooks and their things into spears to combat America, America is now trying to do it, but it's going to be too late for them, man. They're going to lose this war. See, there's no indication the United States and China are headed toward armed conflict, and they are, let alone the nuclear one. And they are headed towards that. Whether these people want to believe it or whether China says it or America says it, it is going to happen because prophecy says so. Let me see. It says, but Christian reports comes at a time of heightened U.S.-China tension across a broad spectrum from trade to national security. A stronger Chinese nuclear force could factor into U.S. calculations for a military response to aggressive Chinese actions such as Taiwan or South China Sea. So you can see, it's all being geared up. All the players are being moved into positions, and they're setting themselves up to fight this world war. Let me see some damn shit still going, man. Let me see something. Yep, here we go. And this is what you see China doing, and this is what Russia has been doing. This is It says Jeremiah 50:23. It says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And the hammer of the whole earth is America. I have laid Leave me alone for 5 more minutes. Salakia. What was that? Go over there. It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Right, because ultimately, the Lord is setting the trap. Because when He gets him involved in this third world war, he really believes that he's going to win it, and he's going to be destroyed. Here, go over there. Right, so when he gets pulled into this world war through these Israelis, he thinks it's going to be a good situation, but really it's the Lord laying a trap for him, man. You know, it's going to lead to him being burnt with fire. It says, Yahweh has opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. What are those weapons? Those nuclear missiles, man. You know, for this is the work of the Lord Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the utmost border. And who is that? All these nations that possess these nuclear missiles, man. Just like I just said in the article, how China is looking for new missile silo locations, man. For what? To fight against America, man. It says, come against her from the utmost border. Open her storehouses. What's that? That's these missiles coming out of those silos. Cast her up as heaps and destroy her utterly. Let nothing be left. And this is what's going to happen to America, man. You know, during the midst of this world war, all these nations are going to shoot their missiles, their nukes here on Babylon the Great. It says, slay all her bullocks, let them come down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. See? The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahweh our power, the vengeance of his temper, right? Because ultimately going to be done as the vengeance and the redemption of the nation of Israel. Payback on you damn devils, man, for all the hurt and robbery and rape that you've done to the children of Israel. It says, call together the archers against Babylon. And what are the archers? Today are these nations that have nuclear missiles, which those nukes, they look like arrows, and they are going to be shot out of these different silos, whether it's coming out of a submarine, whether it's coming out of one of those launchers, like where is it? Whether it's coming out of one of these, you know, that's how they're going to destroy. That's how America's going to be destroyed. It says, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done. Right, all the wickedness that America has done. You know, all the lies, rape, robbery that these damn Edomites have done is going to be recompense or paid back. Do unto her, right? And like I said earlier, these nations have a bone to pick with America too, because remember, America dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. They totally ravaged and destroyed the ancient USSR, and you know you can go on, man. So everybody has a pound of flesh to take from Babylon, man. It says, for she have been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. See, they definitely been proud against the Most High, man. You know, you can go on and on with that too. It says, therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith Yahweh. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud. Who's that? The Edomites, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, and these elites and these rulers, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I shall visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna raise you up. You're gonna lose respect from everybody. And when these time come, all your allies are not gonna be there to back you up or to raise you up. You know, they're gonna turn on you and fire their missiles on you. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about them. You see? And that's what's going to happen, man. You're going to be destroyed through the midst of this world war. And that's why you see all these different things happening on the planet Earth, man. This is the little missile attack that they did on Syrian government claims to have shot down. Yeah, you know? So you just see right now, you know, even in the midst of all this pandemic, in the midst of all this chaos, man, World War III is still on the ticket and it's still rising, and things are still happening as far as what's going to bring this earth into World War III. Even though they're not talking about it, and all they're talking about on the news and the media is the COVID and getting vaccinated. Hey, these chess pieces are still being moved and in position to destroy Babylon the Great and bring this World War III on the planet Earth, man. Okay, so with that, Lord willing, you were edified. I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Until the next lesson.